welcome back to Collecting Words. So today's video is going to be about sound poetry. I kind of mentioned this in yesterday's video, how I wanted to talk about poetry and sort of what we consider poetry and what can be classified as poetry, and sound poetry is something you just have to kind of sit and listen to. It's very odd. There's a debate whether it even constitutes as poetry. A lot of it isn't even really words. But if you just sit and listen to it, you'll understand why there's a bit of a debate around it. So the sound poem that I want to show you guys is called Motorized Razors by Christian Bach. Just so you can kind of get a feel of what you're about to see, these are the first couple words. Roto zaza whipsaw zoom zang tu da da roba rama buzzsaw buzz bazooka buzz bomb bang zang zing zing zip gun zulu acid jazz Izalm jujitsu. Oh my gosh. I know it sounds really weird, really odd. This is it.
Robo rumba buzz a buzz bazooka buzz bomb bang zang zing zing zip gun zulu acid jazz Izalm jujitsu. Zero sugar not jaws of a jigsaw, ripsaw, and rook, wonderbus, boom. Jarrozaza, hacksaw, jarrodoom, dynamite cadenza, razor, rama, cirksaw, mers, berserkers, curse each law which causes rust on scissors, chainsaw maniacs, hijack, high-tech, tick-tock, clocks, clacks, and clanks, gangs of gung-ho guys with axes, battling Gatling guns, attack boom boxes, oxyacetylene sons. Rotozaza, ritsa, zang, tum dada, robo, rama, buzz bazooka, buzz bomb bang, zang, zing, zing, zip, gun, zulu, acid, jazzy, sound jujitsu, zero juggernaut jaws of a jigsaw, ripsaw, and roots, thunderbolt, boom, jarrozaza, hacksaw, jarrodoom, dynamite cadenza, razor, rama, cirksaw, mers, berserkers, curse each law which causes rust on scissors, chainsaw maniacs, hijack, high-tech, tick-tock, clocks, clacks, and clanks, gangs of gung-ho guys with axes, battling Gatling guns, attack boom boxes, oxyacetylene sons.
What you think? It's weird, right? But the question really is, does it count as poetry? And if it does, what kind of poem is it, other than sound poetry? I think the bigger question is, what do we consider poetry? What can be considered poetry? You know, really, you have these sharp sounds that he's making, and you can kind of get a feel for it, you know? You can hear some of the things he's saying, buzzsaw, Gatling gun, you know, these zooms and zangs, etc., etc. And the title is Motorized Razors. He's talking about machinery. And like I said before, whether or not it counts as a poem, I think is really up to the individual. But I think it's definitely worth listening to. I think it's worth hearing, it's worth understanding. You know, we can also extend this into music. When I was in a choir, we did a song called Pulsioina. It was basically a whole bunch of you know, that sort of humming noise, and there was a whole bunch of pops and clicks and water dripping sounds, and it crescendoed and then it died down, and it crescendoed and then it died down. And it was a really interesting piece. The thing is, does it count as music? Do we consider that a song? What is it? Is it a show of vocal abilities? And the same goes for Motorized Razors by Christian Bach. So for Poesina, I consider it to be a song. Other people might sort of see it as a vocal performance. What do we call something like that? Is it a song? Is it just a show of what your voice can do? It really depends. It's also a matter of what constitutes good sound. So I think it's worth talking about, it's worth thinking about, it's worth considering, it's worth listening to new things, listening to new forms of poetry, or seeing or reading new forms of poetry, because let's face it, there's a ton. And I'd be curious to hear your thoughts about it. If Motorized Razors does count as poetry, with art and things like this, it's all very subjective. Some people like it, some people don't, and it's important to discuss it. So this is the end of this Collecting Words video. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you liked it.